I have a favorite anime, and well, so do you. But what about those people that haven't started their anime journey yet?
It means you have no skills and you're a loser!
No, but seriously, it means we need to find a new set of starting animes for these people. Now, we have a very big range to pick from, but we can go through that adventure together. Now, before we jump into this big video, if you are an anime fan and want to have more anime content, subscribe to the channel. And if you want to take your support a step further, I have other links that YouTube does not want to provide here. I deeply appreciate all the love and support, but now let's talk about the best starter anime. There's 3 different groups at which you could be at depending on if you watch anime or you want to watch anime. The first one being that you love anime to death and you know what you want. I'm talking about them seasonal watchers that know what peak fiction is and you can't tell them otherwise. So for people in that group, you can go sit over here because I can't tell you nothing. The second group are the people that ride a trend. Big pause on that, but you know who you are. You're watching Demon Slayer whenever the animation goes crazy. You're watching Spy X Family whenever Anya does something cute, and you're watching Dragon Ball whenever it's Broly time. This group of people aren't bad anime watchers, but they're not really great either. So maybe you could learn a thing or two from this video. But alas, the final group is who I'm specifically talking to. You know those people that say,
"Oh, you watch anime? I would gladly watch that, but there's just so much stuff to watch out there, I don't know where to start."
Yeah, those non-weebs, this video here is for you. We need to talk about what are some good starter animes. But before we start listing them off, we need to talk about a mistake that you might hear. Have you ever heard of a dude named Michael Jordan? Sorry, I know that's super common. Let me limit that a little bit more. I'm talking about Michael B. Jordan. You know, that muscular dude that was tearing up inside the Creed movies? You said you didn't watch those. The dude that played Killmonger inside the Black Panther movie. I know for a fact you should have seen that, and if you didn't, shame on you. But look, just play along with me. If you don't know who he is, I promise a female in your life does. A little while back, Michael B. Jordan dropped a crazy hot take.
And you've not seen a thing, what are your go-to, here's where you start, suggestions?
One Piece, Dragon Ball, Naruto, Bleach, Hunter x Hunter. That's a pretty good starting 5.
That's a pretty good starting 5. There's a huge issue with Mr. Michael B. Jordan's statement, and I'm gonna let you find out what it is. Alright, I'm sure enough of you have seen Death Note, you've had enough time to ponder. Instead, let me just show you what the problem is. Do you see that? My guy is old. He's not literally old. 36 is a solid number, especially considering his net worth. I'm sure you've accomplished a lot, even things that we don't know about. But the starting 5 anime he picked are a bit dated nowadays. Every anime that Michael picked is an anime that started in the early 2000s, if not even sooner. So what do we look like telling a newbie to start an anime that's more than 20 or 30 years old? Let's take a deep dive into the shows that he picked. 3 of the shows on this list are considered the big 3. If you don't know what the big 3 are because you're not an anime watcher or you're just curious, I have another video about these 3 over here. The big 3 are kind of like the founders of shonen anime that started a lot of the new ones nowadays. Each one of these animes are 15 plus years old. Heck, one of them was stopped for literally several years until it just recently came back. If an anime can stop for several years and then come back, that thing's considered old. But speaking of old, it doesn't get much older than Dragon Ball. Mind you, he didn't say Dragon Ball Z, which is a sequel, he said the original Dragon Ball. Goku himself is on the verge to turning into dust. They've had multiple different series of Dragon Ball since it first aired, and Goku has had more transformations than some shows have had years. Listen buddy, it's old. And also the original Hunter x Hunter came out before early 2000s, so no. Now look, I'm not saying any of the shows he mentioned are bad, nor are they not starter animes, but the list he picked are for newcomers 10 years ago. For example, the newest transformation for Luffy just came out recently for One Piece. But if you know anything at all about this show, there's 1,000+ episodes. At what point do you think a newcomer's ever going to see this, if at all? Honestly, you're lucky if they make it to any of the gears because it still takes 100+ episodes. These animes that are over 15 years old and have more than 100 episodes are not feasible for newcomers. Maybe you can get them to try One Piece or Dragon Ball once they've committed to anime, but that's not for a starter. I have a friend that is a regular anime watcher and he watches at least 5 shows every single season. The difference between him and I is that he chooses not to watch these big shonen. It's not that he believes that they're bad or anything like that, it's just that there's too many episodes for someone to watch. Personally, I can keep Naruto on repeat. Remember that episode when Sasuke was breaking that dude's back? Pause. There are so many moments like these that you'll never forget. Or remember that episode when 16 got turned to junk metal? I'm sure everybody that's seen it will always remember that transformation from Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. But that doesn't mean this is where you start. So for you newcomers that are wondering what you should be watching, I'm about to hit you with 5 different animes that you should watch as a newcomer. And hopefully these starting 5 will cover a vast amount of genres for you. And for those of you who believe I'm missing something or something on the list should be replaced, please let me know in the comments down below. Again, this is a new age and a new time, and because TikTok ruined everything, there's a new list for all of us. So here are my picks for a new age starting 5 animes. In no particular order, for the first spot I have Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer's spot is to fill up any fighting anime desire that you have. This show is a lighter version of the big 3 and also took inspiration from one of them. Demon Slayer follows a young boy named Tanjiro who lost his family due to a demon. He then decides to join the Demon Slayer Corps to restore his sister Nezuko from being a demon, as well as stopping demons from becoming big bad bosses. Demon Slayer's story is not the deepest and the show hasn't hit 100 episodes yet. But the other reason you'll watch Demon Slayer isn't just because it's a light shonen, but because it's made by Studio Ufotable. This studio is probably one of the best studios to make animation, period. Most of the other animes they make is kind of blah until Demon Slayer comes around. And just to be clear, Demon Slayer is one of those big boys. The movie itself is #1 top grossing even over Frozen and Titanic, even though that's in Japan, but the point still remains. If you're looking for a show with peak animation and some good fight scenes as well, this is the pick for you. The second anime on this list is Kaguya-sama Love is War. Now in my personal opinion, this is probably the best rom-com you'll see in recent memory. This is a show that takes steps forward towards a plot, but it's not necessary. Overall, you have 2 different characters that like each other a lot, but you cannot confess your love in high school because if you do so, you basically lost. So the comedy for this show comes from both characters trying to trick the other to confess their true love. This for sure is a romance, but the comedy aspect takes priority. Currently, this show has less than 50 episodes and a movie, but you won't feel like it's a huge backlog when you watch the comedy coming from this show. Now look, listen, alright, this is my favorite rom-com, and I do think it's the best within at least a decade. But if you are a fan of the rom-com genre, I'd be surprised if this doesn't rank somewhere high on your list. The third and fourth option I'm going to give you are very similar, but also vastly different. For the third and fourth spot, I like to pick Made in Abyss and Attack on Titan. Now first and foremost, these shows are thrillers. You'll get the feeling of drama and suspense from these shows, and while one of them is very close to being done, the other one has just started. I'd also like to say this is a good replacement for a new age Death Note or Code Geass. Now listen, old time watchers, I'm not saying the thought process for these 2 new shows are the same as the others, but if you're looking to think about what's happening even a little, this is the pick for you. First, Made in Abyss's story is about a young group named Rico and Reg. Reg is a young boy that suddenly appears out of nowhere because of the Abyss. The Abyss is literally a huge hole inside the city. Since Reg has no previous memories of who he is, he liked to figure out why he got here and what he's supposed to do. Lucky for Reg, you have the blonde protagonist that's ready to throw away her life. Rico naturally wants to explore, and therefore she wants to go down to the Abyss not only to find her mother, but to see what else she can find. So they decide to ditch all the adults to go down to this huge abyss and risk danger. I really don't want to say too much more about this show because you should watch it instead of me explaining it to you. But if you're curious, Made in Abyss currently has 2 seasons right now and a movie. So if you've never tried this before, this is the best time to start. Now on the other hand, you have Attack on Titan. Now to put this bluntly, this is the show amongst shows. The story starts off with a young boy named Eren Yeager who's inside a couple of walls. Just stop it, please stop. The reason Eren and the rest of civilization is compact in these walls is because of the Titans. Titans are huge man-eating creatures that decide to eat people because they feel like it. Now like I said before, when there is a mystery, this is what I'm talking about. This This show is currently 4 seasons in with a couple of specials, and at the time I'm recording this video, there's only one part left. If you're someone that wants a huge story to get invested in, this is the pick for you. For both of these shows, you'll have to devote time and effort to understand, but as long as the studios don't fumble these shows, you should be good to go. And also, I see myself doing full videos on both of these shows in the future. So if you want to, go ahead and check them out. For my last pick on this list, it was very difficult for me to choose. But if you are just starting on anime and I could only pick 5 shows, I had to pick one. There was a solid 4 shows floating around my mind that fit this genre. But after careful consideration, for my number 5 spot, I'm picking Your Lie in April. Now, the slice of life genre is very huge, and the 3 shows I mentioned that did not get this number 5 spot are very good substitutes. But after I watched all these shows again, I realized that Your Lie in April branches out a little bit more. When it comes to the story of Your Lie in April, you'll follow 2 musicians, Kosei, who's a talented piano player, and Kaori, who's a great violinist. The interesting part is both of these characters have reasons why they do and don't want to play. Going through the day-by-day life with both of these characters makes it a slice of life, but you also get a couple more genres in here that you don't expect. This is currently the shortest show on this list with 22 episodes and an OVA, but I promise you that this is a complete package. Now let's take a step back and look at the 5 shows I picked. When it comes to these 5 shows, I believe these are the best picks to taste different genres. If you do find a genre you resonate with, you can always find other shows that are similar to the show you just watched. Of course, there are some bad apples inside the pouch, but if you do a bit of Googling, you'll find some good shows that people talk about all the time. And as always, just because you probably don't like one show doesn't mean the rest are bad. As a person that likes entertainment, you know what you want to see. And there are plenty of shows and genres that I didn't even touch on today. Sports genre, gambling genre, magical girl genre. These are sections that if you do have a niche for it, then you can still find stuff there. But overall, for the general newbie in 2023, these are the 5 I'll pick. Now let's be civil and tell me in the comments down below if any of these shows don't hit the spot. And that includes the old weebs that think that there's a better fit than the 5 I have here. And with that, that's my starting 5. Now hold on. Before you click off, hear me out. You're a gamer or an anime watcher. I know that's you. If you are, I'm sure you know lighting can make it much more special. So have you ever thought about getting a neon light? Yeah, that's right, boys. Look at that clean anime light. And you know this symbol's talking about them boys. This Akatsuki light comes in multiple colors and has adjustable brightness. Now, of course, I got one myself and I gotta put you on as well. This is a pretty good bang for your buck, especially if you look at other prices. So if you're interested, use my link in the comment section or in the description down below. Finally, if you're looking for more anime content, I just had a video about female heroines over here. I appreciate y'all watching and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.